Hey, hi, hi. Let's see. Uh, hmm. Ah, right. Okay. I think I'm live, but we're in this like weird pre thing. So I think I just need. Let's find out. Let's figure this out. Hey, everybody, let's figure this out. I'm supposed to be adding. I thought Vinny said to add. I am live. There's also no chat right now, so you know. Why is this not working? I'm talking to Vinny on Slack, which is good. That's good, right? I don't know why this is set as a TNT. I'm also not sure why this is live. Or not live, rather. It should be live. I'm hitting the YouTube anyway. So, there's that. I'm going to wait to do like an actual introduction until I'm actually on Giant Bomb. Off to a good start. Certainly. Oh, apparently. Oh, right. Hmm. Let's see if people on Twitter are yelling at me yet. Probably. That's fair. That's fair. Uh, mm, Vinny is putting the stream live, which means we could be live right now this second. We are not yet live this second. Or maybe we are, it's just not on the front page. Let's check. Have I been talking? No, there's currently no show. Okay. Well, there's that. There's that. I'm hitting YouTube, though, which is something. Uh... I am talking to YouTube. Yeah, yep, I know people are watching. Thank you. I appreciate the person who just said my hair looks cute. It looks pretty cute. It's true. I'm just going to wait until we figure out how to get this back over to Giant Bomb before I actually kick this off. Because that would be a good idea. We just closed the previous Call of Duty chat. I think we're starting a new one. So once that's taken care of, we should be good. I think. I just sent out a tweet. Where is my coffee? That's pretty good coffee. I feel like I should like give you guys some secret chat, some stuff that like only you know. I don't know what that could be though. I don't know if I have any hot secrets. Feel free to tweet at me while I figure this out. Let's bring that this way a little bit and a little bit out of my face. There we go. I'm not sure why this is not live. It says it's live on site. This could be a caching issue. The stream is under embargo. CK2 is definitely a thing I'm thinking of doing here. Listen, my room's a mess. I apologize. Alright, Vinny's going to end and restart this stream. Not on my side. My side will be continuing. Whoa, I did not mean to zoom in on my other computer. Also, I would like to change, let's see, where is that at? Dope Live dashboard. Hey, boop. The stream's going over there. Change thumbnail. There we go. Let's get rid of this wizard thumbnail. I like wizards. I don't have anything against wizards. Listen, I don't have anything against wizards. As a rule, I'm pretty much pro-wizard. Pretty much. Mostly. Let me just upload this as a thumbnail. It's a boring thumbnail, but it's a thumbnail. Vinny's running tech for me. He's a very nice man. Don't let him know I said that. Kristen, I do miss my food bed. My food bed was in another room. There's another room that way. I have like a side room. It's like bigger. Oh boy, we're getting our like tech people involved now because this isn't working. It's working on YouTube. You guys can see me, which is pretty good. I still haven't hit the counter. Like I'm not counting this as being part of my stream. It means I'm going to go a little bit late, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I should start the counter. I want to push the San Francisco team late. I would love to build a Gundam, Giancarlo. I would love to. In fact, I might play some Gundam Extreme Verse Full Boost a little bit later. I don't know if that read on camera even a little bit. Oh, nice. There's a thanks to the mods for linking me to a nice, useful extra life thing happening. Like I have a document that helps here. For people who are just tuning in because like, oh, hey, a stream happened, we are doing, and I'm going to say all this again in a second, we are raising money for charity. You're part of Extra Life. You can go to tinyurl.com/gbexlife. Someone just DM'd me and said cats. It's my roommate's cat, and she's very fickle. Rick says it should be good. Okay. Hey, hi. Hey, hi. Wait, watch this. Ready? I'm going to type this in chat. Hey, hi. I then hit play, and it said an error occurred. But let me know if this is coming through over here, and I'll hop on it. Let's get this. Oop, nope, nope. Close that. Boom. Okay. Let's make this chat nice and big for me so I can actually hear it and see it. What type of snacks will I be enjoying tonight? I'm not 100% sure, actually. It's a good question. I have some snacks around the house, and I'll probably order some food in a little bit. We'll see. Hey, I'm Austin Walker, by the way. How's it going? Is there an error? An error occurred. Okay, so maybe you guys can't see me on the channel. 1 second. Let me tell Vinny. Welcome to technical support with Austin Walker. It's me, Austin Walker. Sergeant Sphinx, I don't know why this isn't on the front page yet. You know, we're a very complex organization. I can say a lot of names. Ready? Let me 1 second. Check this out. Internet has baby name lists. I'll say everybody's name. Get ready. I hope you're ready for this stream. I'm just going to open up this JPEG and just read all the names in it. Boom. Phil Arberg, Jim Abelman. These are full names. I don't know whose names these are. Teresa Marie Acria, Mark Adams, Stephen Adcock, Javier Aguilar. That sounds right. Steve C. I like this dude who, on this entire list of people with full names, this cat just said, like, nah, you don't get my full name. My name is just Steve C. Timo Butters. That's a good name. Paul Bigley. Charles Chuck Bebro. Juan Farmer, Chris Farnsworth, Eddie Felix, Richard Felix. Also, but if your name happened to be Richard Felix, if your name happens to be Dr. Daniel Gregory Walther Femmer, which is randomly on this list of names I opened. Yeah, so Giant Bomb / chat is currently fucked, but you can go watch on YouTube. Well, if you're hearing this and you're already watching on youtube.com/TheRealGiantBomb. So I'm trying to figure out how to get it going on the main page. I've done lots of asking some questions. In fact, here's the thing. Now I'm gonna do the official spiel, and people who tune in late can now just tune in late, which means I'm going to also go over to this weird, cool webhook that Ian Kelly and Orahack, user Orahack, set up for us. I'm gonna start this timer. What time is it? 16. It is 16:14. So I'm gonna set it up for. Or sorry, it's 6:14. So I'm going to set it for 15 hours and 45 minutes. I'm going to start it the second that it turns over to 6:15. The Giant Bomb page is not working for anybody. I don't think. The clock is running. Well, this stuff that I set up is working. I didn't really set up all of it. I learned how to use technology that, again, Ian Kelly and at Orahack. Aguilar. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Thanks, David. Oh, no, people are saying they can't start. Yeah, I know how I'm going to fill 16 hours with a lot of video games. And also, like, I'll answer some questions. And I will, I don't know, do some other shit. All right, we're good. I think we're good. Thanks, Vinny. I love you, Vinny. I'm now going to exit Slack on this computer so that it stops making weird noises, weird Slack noises. Coworkers, if you need to get a hold of me, I don't know, come and chat, I guess. I'm Austin Walker, and today I am streaming alone for the next 15 hours and 45 minutes or so to raise money for kids, for charity, for Extra Life, which is a charity that you can help us support. We are currently raising money for a hospital that's part of the Children's Miracle Network. I think it is the... I had it open a second ago, and I've since lost it. You know what you can read about this is on giantbomb.com, which is a website about video games and also about raising money for kids. It is the UCSF Benioff. I've watched enough of these streams. I feel like I should know how to pronounce that by now. Benioff Children's Hospital of Oakland, and you can do that if you go to tinyurl.com/GBEXLIFE. GB Life. And I think I'm going to start playing some video games. How's that sound? That sounds all right? It sounds all right? So I think the thing I'm going to kick it off with, and I have a whole list. I have a whole list of games. There's a game that I reviewed for the site a couple months ago, and I never got to play that game on the site at all. Which is like one of those things that's kind of frustrating, right? It's like, I really like this game, but I'm not, like, it just doesn't line up. I don't get to do the quick look. There's no live stream for us to do it on, etc. Let's see if this works. Here's a controller. There it is. So this is Galak-Z for PC. Let me know how audio is. I have to turn off my Steam notifications, but thanks, John. You're a good friend. Should I just turn off notifications, right? And then turn that off and that off. Boom. Now I still get to be online in case I want to play something with people later. Audio sounds good for people? Okay, so I just started playing this last night for the first time. On PC for the first time. And I got far enough in that I unlocked all of the... just like the main game mode. Oh, yeah, good job. Definitely crack open some Gundam kits to build during this. I'm going to move this over a little bit that way. That's a little bit better. Okay. So let's play some Galak-Z.
We need warp crystals.
Oh, yeah, totally. Thanks, Ian. How did I get the fancy donor sidebar thing? That is coming in from like I said, Ian Kelly, Lieutenant Squigs in the chat, and I think that the design of it was from @Orahack in the chat. All right, I'm gonna play this. So I'm a little bit into a game right now. I'm gonna buy up some temp shields. Is there anything else that I actually want? I already have one tightly packed. So I have no upgrades available, right? Because also I should tweet this. I should tweet this out. I'm gonna move this computer down here. Oh, really? The mouse and keyboard controls are good? I believe it. Twitter. Computer. Go to Twitter. That doesn't work. I thought like maybe it had updated itself. Let's just listen to this dope dubstep. Not dubstep, just dub. Oh, that's it. That's the stuff. All right, next. Let's keep on auto fire because I don't really care about blast fire. I did get a haircut. I got a haircut last week. I'm glad that you support me in my endeavors. This just got loud, didn't it? This got real loud? Is that loud?
Warp crystals. Our fuel, our power, our only hope of getting
I'm glad that
home.
you support me.
That was beautiful, Bean.
But
Go
I
pick
really
up that
would hope,
crystal and
if
we'll
you
have a chance to warn
can,
Earth.
that you might support Extra Life by going to the link that's in the sidebar there. People are saying the audio is pretty good. That's nice. All right, I can just turn mine down with this mixer. I got a mixer recently, right? Like I do a bunch of streaming and podcasts and stuff from home, so I finally like, you know what? I'm gonna get like a good setup, and it's been real nice. Hey guys, hi. Guess what? This is a waste, but I love missiles.
See ya. Money in the bank.
So this ship currently has some really good stuff. And again, please yell at me if the audio is too loud or whatever, because it's pretty loud for me. I'm gonna keep turning my local audio down a little bit.
It wasn't bad. Dead bug.
All right, boom. Ooh, nice ship ability.
Liking it.
I am using a... What is this thing? Where's Keith? I'm using something. I'm using a... I think all my stuff is Behringer. I think it's like a Behringer... No, Behringer C3 is the mic I'm using. The mixer I'm using... I have a box for it somewhere, and I forget the name of it.
Tango! Receiving fire!
Laters. Yes.
Hop over, spin it back. I like this game a whole bunch, and the PC version, from what I've seen so far, has been like really smooth, and that is a pretty big improvement. Yeah, there weren't. They issued a patch soon after the game actually launched on PC or on PS4 that helped a lot, but not as much as it maybe could have. There's still some occasional slowdown, and slowdown might not even be the right word. It was just like things got choppy in a way sometimes. Oop, dodge that, hop over.
Yes.
Nice, that worked really well. Ooh, slip past that.
Taking damage!
Alright, I'm real happy about that last like 20 seconds. That was a pretty good 20 seconds of gameplay.
Oh, well played. Right up the tailpipe.
Alright. What do we got here? I missed some stuff.
Shields out!
Let's head back and get
I've
that
been hit.
stuff.
Ooh.
Oop, back it up. Sorry if I'm not seeing a lot of stuff right now. I am, of course, playing a very difficult game to talk during. Come on, let's... That's good. But feel free to @ me, and there's a chance I will eventually see it.
Shields down!
I mean, maybe not immediately, but eventually. I left a bunch of stuff up that way. I figure I'll play this for a little bit, maybe until I wipe. I'm playing on the Rogue mode. They also unleashed. They also created and offer an arcade mode in the PC release, which I think is just like, it's like kind of a traditional kind of mission-based mode where instead of having to start over at the beginning of a season when you die, you just get to keep, load your save. Look, I might beat this game tonight. I don't like this. This could be the run. Hashtag the run. If you're following along on Twitter, sorry, if you're following along on social medias, just social media, just a singular social media. Hit the wrong button there. There we go. File watched. I will in fact holler if I'm gonna do some Vermintide. I might. It's on my list of things. I have a pretty deep list. People who are asking like, what am I going to stream in general today? It's a mix of things. My kind of philosophy behind it, which I explained a few moments ago when I was still on the... one second, I gotta sneak past this.
And
Nope, I didn't. I just didn't sneak past it. My philosophy is I want to do stuff that I like a lot, but that I haven't streamed here, or that I haven't, or for Giant Bomb, or that I haven't streamed in a while for here, or that I haven't streamed as much as I would like to have, or like the majority of it is just like, oh, I like this game, but there's no footage of me on Giant Bomb playing it. which is kind of the thought behind this.
Yeah,
There's also there are some games that I wanted to get to this year because they're really cool. Oh, 1 second. There's a robot. I love the mech design in this. Oh, swing it back. Okay. Everybody's good. Everything is the best. This is all going according to plan. Let's get these locks.
You can't hurt me. My shields.
Boom. Oh, that's good. I think this is a sentinel? No, sentinels are the ones with the swords. What are these?
better luck next time.
So here's the thing that I think a lot of people maybe don't even know about this game, is that there's this whole database that includes like a write-up of all the different enemies. Yeah, it was a bazooka sentinel. And I like these write-ups a whole bunch. KO Del, why did I cut my hair? I had a family function. I had to like look alright for fam. And what you know, what you and I might think is alright is not always what the fam thinks is alright. Got a little crisper, but it'll come back. The other thing is just like it was getting to be unmanageably long, and so now it will. Oh, nope. Peace. It will be like this length for the next couple of weeks. You know, by the time it's December, by the time it's January, by the time it's cold again, I'll have it back, and that'll be nice. The upgrade. Oh, bounce shots. I'm not doing a run of Undertale where I kill everything, which is not going to happen.
Cargo.
I think I'm just like done with Undertale. Like I love Undertale, but I can't imagine playing that game again after beating it with the ending I got.
Ooh.
Get those crystals. Get that
Lock and
shield.
load.
Oh, it's poison.
Beam. Crystal pieces collected.
What else we got here? Is that it? Is that the mission? Yeah.
Copy. Return to the warp point.
I can't really... the way my hair works isn't I can't really slick it back like an 80s movie guy. It's not really... I could like... I guess I could get some like... some product to put in my hair to do some slick stuff with it. It's a bad look in 2015 though, dog. Oh! Blocks.
We're fighting to the big boys.
Damn you and your empire!
They've also definitely continued to
Just in time.
decrease the repetitiveness of some of ATAC's barks, which were really rough in the original release. Sneak on back behind them.
I'm hit! Stupid
Do a little
empire!
run.
Ooh, bye-bye.
Let's check and make sure there's nothing else in the shop I want before I bounce. Oop, that was bad. It is not going to just be PC games. I have an Elgato here from work, which I like a lot. I'm happy I can do that. So there's a chance that I could play some other types of stuff. I'm just not... We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. I don't know that I have the bandwidth to mirror this to Twitch. Let me look into it after this first little segment. I would love to be able to. The fact that YouTube streaming is blocked in Germany kind of sucks. Sorry about that. But again, it is just a matter of like, do I have the bandwidth to do that mirroring myself? I'm not sure. Because again, I'm working from home with my home internet, which is like the best internet I've ever had in my life, but also it's still home internet, right?
I found a human!
What is it, amateur hour?
Where are you? Hey, here!
Oh, Crash Coin. So the thing about Crash Coins is that, like... So the first time I played this game,
My shield to blow!
I had such a good run going out of the first mission, or the first season, rather, that I had such an excess of Crash Coins that it was really easy to start Season 2 with a great build, and I have a suspicion that the same thing is going to happen here. I didn't make fun of Brad's haircut. I like Brad's haircut is fucking rad. I just don't have Brad's hair. It's just like not exactly how my hair works. There is certainly a chance for Paradox games to show up. I'm a big fan of theirs, and I could see that happening. There's like basically a chance if you know that I like a style of game or a genre or really anything, there's a chance it will show up here. Alright, what's that? I gotta get my shields back here. I hate not having a robot. Give me my robot back.
Stupid Empire!
Lucky shot.
Shields down on that guy.
Engaging enemy.
Damn you and your Empire!
Take that. They are really.
One more. There it is.
Next time. And that's mine.
There we go.
Wasn't bad.
Okay.
Nice.
Not bad. Still down. Let's get these guys.
Human, here.
Engaging.
I will say one of the things I wish was the case, maybe. Or it's tough. I don't know. So having played a ton of hours in the PS4 version of this, it's kind of weird to know that there are just unlocks I will not see during this playthrough because they're just not available. I didn't find the blueprints, and they aren't yet showing up. Oh, did I miss something here? I did. Missiles. Oh, I have max missiles. Okay. I'll probably not play Gold of the Americas for the Amiga 500.
I'm here.
Copy. Bringing you in.
So yeah, we have a bunch of goals also, now that I think about it. And thanks to those who have already started donating. When we kicked it off, we had $550, which means in the last 30 or 15 minutes, really, we've gone up by like $650. So I appreciate everybody who's done that. There will be a point at which I will definitely take a break and read off some names and comments and stuff. Obviously, I want people to read everybody. There's just so many, and I'm only one dude. But I will do my best. I was looking at State of Decay's breakdown before. It is on my list of things that I've never played and want to play.
Navigation online.
That's good news.
It's going to be
There's a
tough
power
to
signature that
balance
maps to the
it
ship.
with the other
Interesting
kind
thing,
of
though.
priorities
It's
I'm
moving.
thinking about here.
That's bad news.
If you find it, we can warn Earth in time.
That's great news.
I did not make the
I could be
overlay.
biggest
The
hero of
overlay
all
again is
time.
Ian Kelly,
Yep,
Lieutenant Squiggs in
absolutely.
chat. I don't know if you will be seeing the. Oh, you might. There's a game that's vaguely steampunk. That is steampunk. It's like what I think of as good steampunk. That's on my list. Let's get that boost. No, let's heal. Let's heal. Let's see. That's the responsible thing to do. Rebel Galaxy's on there. Yeah, I could turn on the hype meter. The hype meter breaks things sometimes, and because I'm alone, I'm a little nervous about doing that. You know what I mean? The Galak-Z Wind by Enzo Van Horn.
Hey, Beam. Why is the power signature moving?
Could be a
Going the wrong way, aren't I? Yep.
couple things. It could be drifting quickly through space. It could be...
Inside
I
giant
love
bug?
State of Decay. I just
probably
haven't
not.
played that DLC.
Definitely not.
How do you
I
know?
wrote
I
a
just
piece
do.
about State of Decay. It's on my old blog, clockworkworlds.com. If you get a chance, you should go read that. It's one of those pieces that, like, over time, I've wound up still being pretty happy with it. I think that happens for me, at least. I don't know if this happens to other people who do creative work.
What
But,
if it's white tusk?
I mean,
It's not a
one,
bug,
you finish
and white
writing
tusk is a
something
myth.
for me,
White tusk.
and I often...
The all-white bug. Why does it
Sorry,
ghost?
it was a really good
It's
read.
just floating in space. No bugs.
There's often the case, like, I finish a piece and it's like, I'm immediately really low on it. And it takes something really special to be like, oh yeah, I really liked that thing that I wrote, that's pretty good. And that's like doubly the
It's
case
totally
with
gonna be
distance.
inside a bug.
The further
No,
away I
it
am
isn't.
from something I wrote, the more likely I am to be like,
We need to
don't
focus.
remind me that I wrote that,
Repeat after
please.
me.
That's like,
8.
I would have done this, or that
Killer
differently.
Bug Slayer.
ATAC. Killer
But
bug
I
slayer.
actually really liked
And
that one,
Savior of
that
Earth.
piece,
Too much
the
beef.
piece I read on State of Decay. I should not be flying and fighting space bugs while reading chat. Oh, nice. Poison paint is a good one. In this level specifically, let's say. Lots of space bugs in this level.
Fish face coming in hot.
Feel that
Bam!
way. Stronger than expected.
Stupid Empire.
One more. There it is.
Well played.
Let's finish exploring this place before activating the beacon. Gotta get that loot. Ah, see? Laser upgrades. What do we got? Oh, pellets.
Yes.
Pretty good. Oh, whew, almost hit that thing. Yeah, totally. Someone in the chat just mentioned, I'm sorry if it's rough for me to read names, but like it's going to be tough to keep my stuff balanced. But someone in the chat just mentioned that that's the same way that they feel about their own comic work and drawing and stuff, which, yeah, totally makes sense. In fact, it's almost easier for me to conceptualize that. I was having a talk with my friend Janine last night about the kind of weirdness. You know, I go out of my way a lot to talk about writing as work and as labor, and like trying to demystify it a little bit. I recoil whenever anybody says something that's like, that even comes close to saying like, oh, you are innately a good writer or something like that, because it's like, oh no, like I had really good teachers and really supportive family, and I had access to this and that, and I put in some time here or there. Fuck, I lost my temporary shields, god damn it. But when I see like art, when I see like paintings, whenever I see paintings, I'm just like, oh my god, they are magicians. Which is not true. Like, it's people who worked really hard at getting good at things, and I shouldn't just dismiss that by kind of reducing it to some sort of weird magical power. But at the same time, the thing I hear a lot from artists, and I actually love seeing this, is when they'll say like, hey, here's the thing I wrote here's the thing I drew 3 or 4 years ago, or I painted 3 or 4 years ago, and here's where I'm at now. And it's just like, wow, like, look, like you put in all of this time and effort into getting better, slowly but surely. And day to day, sometimes it's like you don't see the change because you do it yourself, right? Like every day you're drawing the same thing, and so it's easy to miss your own improvement. These little husks here often have stuff in them. Blow those up, see? And so yeah, it's weird because like, I don't know. It's a strange thing to work in a creative field and to work very slowly at getting better. Get these shields back. There we go. Nice.
You'll have to get harder than that.
You and your empire. Ooh, he wasn't bad.
Oh, that sucks. Someone just said that they found an article that they wrote on some site years ago, and they. Okay. It's tough if you're credited as the author from a someone says, I found a review that I wrote for a site years back on a different site. I'm credited as the author, but I have no idea how it got there. I see. Or even if I should request a takedown. I don't make any money on the original site or anything. Yeah, you should definitely request a takedown. That work is yours, and the chances are it was put there by a bot, by an algorithm somewhere. Oh, look at that. I got that fire juice, that fire protection shield. It's really good. And you know, it was probably not actually any human who made the decision to copy and paste your work there. They're probably doing it to get SEO and hits and stuff. And chances are that even if it's only a little bit, they are profiting on your stuff, or at least attempting to. If I were you, I would definitely try to do the takedown.
Prepare yourself.
It's a question I get a lot in general. Is just kind of like, well, if I'm trying to start out as a writer, how do I do that? And like, how often should I do work for free? And all that stuff is so complex, and getting more complex as writing continues to be strangely devalued. Yeah, a multiplayer game with chat is definitely not out of the question. It's gonna be a long night, so, you know, plenty of time. Okay, I know what I'm gonna play next, but I'm not really sure what I'll play after that. I never got around to playing Prison Architect. I read a lot of really smart things from people who like that game and from people who don't like that game. I just never found the time to play it. Plasma Core is really good. Keep Talking Nobody Explodes would be really tough to do by myself, guys. And the chat delay being what it is means it would be hard to do with chat as, like, the partner, you know?
Arrogant fish face, coming in hot.
Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Spin it back.
I know you're here.
Oh, that was bad.
Stupid empire.
Die, human. Target acquired.
Oh, took some damage. That's no
Better luck
good.
next time.
the boss in this level, so
Bring it.
come on, a few more.
Come and see.
There we go. Oh, still left.
You and your
I
empire.
really want my mech, guys. I really want my mech.
You'll pay for this. Damn you.
Wasn't bad. Yes.
I like John Boyega. It's ironic that you say that. Listen to the Beastcast tomorrow morning. Okay. Let's just peek down here real quick. You know, I'm not a huge Resident Evil guy. I'm not like opposed to Resident Evil. I have a lot of fondness for 1 and 2 and 4. And Code Veronica, I guess I have some fondness for. But I'm probably not going to go buy Revelations 2 just to play it on stream when there's already so many other things that are on my list, you know? Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of irony in me saying, like, I hate how writing has been devalued, and also here is a ton of great writing on... 1 second.
You're near the power signature.
Oh shit.
It is White Tusk.
That's what I get for checking
I
Slack.
told you he was real.
Oh no, it's White Tusk. Who could have guessed?
Yeah, no
Let's
shields.
recover.
And I hate bugs.
Leo TPP says, I think work for free is one of the hardest things for aspiring writers to tackle, and, which I totally agree with. Well, here's what I ended up doing, and I've said this before. I've said this on the Beastcast recently, but I'll say it again because I stand by it. What I eventually decided was, if I'm going to work for free, if I'm going to write for free, but for people who don't know that this happens or like what the hell we're talking about, just a little background. One of the things that you see a lot is you'll see someone say like, oh hey yeah, like I'd love for you to come write for my site, but I can't afford to pay you right now, or eventually maybe I can give you a review copy of something, but that's about it. I can't support you in any other way, which you know is kind of a reflection of the fact that there are more people who would like to write about games on the internet than there is money making, place for money to be made doing that. But what I always tell those people is that, and this is what I did, was like, at a certain point, if you're going to write for free for the internet, or on the internet, write for free for yourself. Start a blog somewhere. There are a number of places that you can go to get a site set up for yourself. And then that site works both as your portfolio and as a blog where people can go read your stuff. And it sucks that you're not getting paid, and ideally, eventually, you can even gain enough of a following that you can either start doing freelance work in addition to your free stuff, start up a Patreon to support that stuff, or land, in very rare cases, and I know this is rare, land an actual full-time gig or even a part-time gig somewhere writing. But doing writing for other people for free, where they are monetizing your work, it's just like, I can't get with that. I get why you would do it. I understand it, and there are a few cases where like the exposure argument can get to me. Exposure, and also like almost weirdly enough, like
I killed it. I destroyed it.
I hate to even invoke this, but like sometimes you can feel like, oh, there's a public good here. I want to reach a broad audience with a message.
Are you okay?
That was a huge jolt.
And I get that.
You're fine. Just added a lot of power to your system is all.
That's all? That's all? The ship is
Yeah,
glowing?
and writing for
Back to
review
work
copies
as
is
fast
a
as
thing
you
that I
can.
totally get to until you catch a review you hate doing, and you end up figuring out what the actual cost is. Someone earlier on Twitter had written me and said that they did a review of Beyond Earth, Civilization Beyond Earth Rising Tide, and they put 30 hours into the game and wrote the review in 2, which is like way shorter than I've ever spent on a review. I'm such a slow fucking writer. And they got paid $60 plus the copy of the game, which is $30. It's $90, so it's like $3 an hour, less than that rate, which is like, I get it, you're playing a game, but it's tough. I have played Neo Scavenger. I like Neo Scavenger. Exactly. Like, if you're going to build a brand for free, make it your brand. I didn't play Wonder Boy. My console history was I had an NES. We beat the first season, guys. Good team us. So yeah, I started with the NES. I started with the NES, but then I also went back as a kid to play like the Intellivision. I had an Atari. I had an Atari 2600 for a while there, and then like Genesis, Super Nintendo, Sega CD, PlayStation. No Saturn. I played friends' Saturns a lot, especially down the road. I was a big Dreamcast fan, huge Dreamcast fan. Had an N64. Like, I feel like there's this. I don't know. I liked my N64 a lot at the time. I guess I'm not gonna shit talk it. Thanks, Mary McCheese. Thoughts on tactical usage of robot form in Galak-Z? You'll see momentarily once I get that robot form. I haven't played any Ori. Is Ori out on PC yet? Or is it still just Xbox One? Oh man, don't even bring up Far Cry 2. Shit, I hadn't thought about Far Cry 2. Oh no. What if I play... I don't know. Mr. Platitude, yeah, I have like 3 unfinished novels. I think a lot of people in my position do. So yeah, I've thought about it. Is my room really bright right now? What do I look like on screen? 1 second, let me see if I can turn something off. I have another light, kind of reflecting light this way, so it will hit my face. Or what I can do is actually, let me mess with this. How about this? I just do this. 1 second. I just do this. Ready? Bop. Look at that. Less bright. Much less bright. I can go all the way down here. That's too dark. That's too dark. But there, and then also while I'm here, let's make sure. There's a thing that this camera does sometimes. Okay, good. It's sometimes if I like don't use this camera for more than like a week at a time, it will go in and turn on autofocus, which is the worst. There is a horror... Well, there's a game that I guess is a horror game. Dungeon World is my go-to entry-level tabletop game, for sure. I'm not much of a platformer fan, top 8 gamer. Like, I don't dislike them, and I vaguely like Metroidvania style games. I hate that phrase, so I guess 2D open world exploration action adventure games. I do not have a PS4 with PT on it. Oh, there it is. This is the stuff.
Beam, why am I a robot?
Moldiver says, did you come across read-only memories
have their own AI.
at all?
Are controlled by humans.
We recorded something for that just now.
How did you know?
It shouldn't even have worked.
My ship had a weapon I didn't know about, but you did.
I don't have human resources manager, unfortunately.
I need to train you to use that weapon right now.
Okay, train first, talk later.
First, tap the weapons. Press the primary fire button to slice those asteroids.
Right. Asteroids destroyed.
Okay, let's try a new move. Face an asteroid and tap the grab button. Now press grab again to throw.
Since I've met you, you've made me
yeah, I've played some Monster Hunter. I'm pro Monster Hunter. I'm not good at Monster Hunter, and I've never had the free time.
I'm sorry about that one.
To get good at it.
Now I find out that my ship had
Here's a question.
weapon that you knew about but didn't tell me. Beam?
Let's focus on training, okay?
Okay, but you're lucky that this is so very cool. I see a bug.
Great. You can grapple enemies too. Give it a try.
No, okay, fine. Hey, bud.
I've got one. Now what?
Try punching it
Right,
with
you
your
can do it
primary
for
fire
attacks,
button.
yeah. There we go.
Okay, that was satisfying. Space junk.
The best mech game. That's like an impossible to answer question. I'm also just like not big on.
More bugs.
Remember
Like,
what you learned.
It's a very complicated question because what do you mean by best mech game, right? Like, what need are you meeting? Because like, I think even within a single series, right, where I think Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer are both really fantastic,
think you're good enough to make it back to the hard point.
high-speed mech
Lead on.
games.
We're deep in Imperial
And
space, but
Armored
there's a space
Core
Hulk ahead.
5
I
and
think you
Armored
can
Core
cut through the
Verdict
Hulk and
Day
avoid Imperial
are like completely different styles of mech
detection.
games,
Roger. Looking for space.
but are
Hulk.
really good.
And grab its flight records while you're at it. You'll be able to just carry the supercomputer
And so,
back.
even just within that, I think those are both fantastic games that do different things, and it's just a lot of just like, what do you want from your mechs, right? The most fun I've had playing a mech game in the last like 4 or 5 years has definitely been Titanfall, like by far, and that's largely because of things like its horde mode and the fact that I was able to play it with a good group of friends, which like Armored Core Verdict Day never really kicked off for me the way I think it was designed to. Like, I never had a good group to play Verdict Day and V with. Yeah, I love Front Mission 3 and I love Shogo. Totally. I am 4 episodes into Iron Blooded Orphans. And I like Super Robot Wars. I'm just also bad at dealing with imports that are like
eyes on the
super
space
plot heavy.
door's blocked.
And like
I
I'm
bet
the
if you
sort of
charge your
person
sword, you
who
can break it down.
would totally
Hold down the fire button.
play more Super Robot Wars if they'd come out
Okay,
here.
want to hear something crazy?
Of course I do.
The
I haven't.
Galak-Z.
I don't.
Go on.
Your ship is a prototype of
The
a
problem with
superweapon.
KOTOR
The
2
only one
is
in
that
the
for us to get to
galaxy.
the bits of
During the
KOTOR 2 that are
ambush, you
really
happened to
good
grab the most
would require
important
us to
ship in
push
the fleet
through
and
the
keep it
intro of
safe.
KOTOR 2,
Why didn't you tell
which
me
is
about
pretty
this
weak.
before?
I didn't think the mech would work. I'm surprised as much as you are.
I think Hawkins okay. It's always felt a little bit too much like a post Call of Duty competitive shooter, post COD 4 competitive shooter. Whereas like in Titanfall, one of the things I like a
new
lot.
bugs beam.
There's a lot I like a lot
Tiny
about
little
Titanfall.
bugs.
Use the sword. The charge swing could take
Alright.
them all out.
The robot scale difference in Titanfall, and specifically the fact that the robots are they're still
there's a duct
not
here.
like
But
mech
it's
warrior
covered.
mechs, which
You
I
should
also
be able to
like,
pull off the
but
hatch.
they're
Hold down the
a
grapple
little
button to bring
bulkier
up a targeter and release it once
than
you
the
got
humans,
aloft.
and the humans are so maneuverable that there is a real scale feeling. There's a real feeling of scale there. What am I? Oh, I'm holding, right.
All right,
Okay.
it's open, but I've got a new problem. The duct is on fire.
Hold down the
Right,
ability
this.
button. It should bring up your shield. It can only take hits from the front, so be careful.
And it'll block fire?
Maybe?
I love Zone of the Enders 2. Zone of the Enders 2 is a fantastic game. And I like it a lot, again, for different reasons than I like those other mech games. I don't know what I'd like to see in Titanfall 2. Like, if I'm being as selfish as possible, the thing I would most like is like a co-op campaign. But like, that's just not what that game is going to be.
Lots of turrets.
Remember your shield.
Okay.
Also remember you can grapple and throw objects. I'm sure you'll figure something out.
The best anime for someone who's seen almost no anime. It depends on what else you've seen, right? Like, I actually got that question recently, and I had a kind of a hard time answering.
Shields
That was
down.
bad.
Oh, it is on.
Because like, okay, well, what other stuff do you like? Are you into like action movies? Because the answer for that is different than somebody who is going to be into like hard sci-fi. Where does the love of mechs come from? One, I mean, so read my Galak-Z review. I get into that a little bit there, and then two, I'm also trying to explore that a little bit in my tabletop game podcast this season. With friends at thetable.net. It's a combination of things, I think, right? I think big robots are cool because lots of people think big robots are cool, right? For the same reasons, which is like they are
Hey, Beam,
vaguely
those were not
humanoid
Imperial
most of the
turrets.
time. The ones that are in
Void
anime
Raiders,
at least
deranged
are,
deep space pirates that have been
but
exposed
they're also
to light
like
radiation for too long,
just
preying
tools
and
for
raiding
humans
on
to
anything
use. Like
adventures
it's all the stuff
forward.
that's vaguely
Close,
seductive
including
about big
Imperials.
robots
Old hulks
already,
are
and then
infested with them.
in anime
We better get
robot
you out of there.
and robot anime, it's also like an excuse to do some like melodrama and sometimes some
Hey, what's
philosophizing in the
That would
case
be
of
the
things like
flight recorder.
Evangelion
Grapple
or
it and bring it to the
Gurren
warp beacon.
All right, I've got it.
And you're clear
I
to the
definitely
warp
prefer UC over alternate timeline in general.
Hey, Beam.
For Gundam.
This whole mission home is more than just about warning Earth, isn't it?
It's about
I have room in my heart
about
for
beating
walking
the
tanks.
Imperials
I
once
like
and for all.
Mech Warrior
How
a
come
whole
one
bunch.
should do that?
I have the plans
I
and the
like
prototype.
Steel Battalion's designs a
And
whole
I
bunch.
have a great pilot.
Right. All right, let's fix navigation and defeat those Imperials.
I like Valkyria
That's the
Chronicles a
spirit.
whole bunch, which is not technically a mecha game, but it is definitely it is what fans of mecha anime like. I think Dan Reichert should probably. There's a couple things I think Dan should definitely watch. Given his love of Metal Gear Solid, he should really watch Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, or even at least just like a set of those episodes that I curate for him. That way he can
Good
avoid the
news.
kind of shitty,
Navigation
not
is
shitty,
online.
the episodes that are a little bit
So what's the
more
plan,
slowly
top
paced,
secret
which I
beam?
like a lot, but
I
like
found
I can
Admiral
understand
Okamoto.
not liking those that
The
much.
Admiral Akamoto?
Yes.
Chrome Hounds is really
The
good.
one who defeated the Imperial Legion when
I mentioned I'm like caught up on just about
The
caught
one
up on
who can kill
Iron
a
Blooded
bug with-
Orphans.
That's the one.
What? Where is he?
Under lock and key, deep in
I
Imperial
like Front
space.
Mission 3 a whole bunch.
Good morning, Saboteur.
Hey, kid.
I'll turn in those coins and get all that salvage. Look at that, 2,600 salvage. So yeah, we're gonna get shields overcharged. Yeah, we're gonna get auto fire. I don't want poison paint. I want it all, don't I? Look at that, boom. Dan should probably watch G Gundam. I don't love G Gundam. It's just like I'm not a super robot guy. I think it's funny. I think it's silly, and I respect that.
Time for a classic defense.
I hear Front
maneuver.
Mission 5 is the best
Great,
Front
what's
Mission
that?
game, and I've tried to play a little bit of it. That's been patched,
Distraction?
but I've not had the time I've wanted to actually dig into it. But from what I saw, that was actually
Fighting to the
really
big
good. I
boys.
got like 3 or 4 hours into
And
it.
That's mine.
It's high on my list of games I wish was actually just available for me to buy and play in English.
They smell bad on the outside.
Yeah, I listened to that episode where Dan had watched Akira. Dan should probably watch Bebop also, right? Like, Cowboy Bebop is pretty approachable, and again, it takes a few episodes to get into the episodes that I think Dan would really love, but yeah. Best place to start with Gundam, for me, is my suggestion, is 08 MS Team and 0080 War in the Pocket. Those are both fairly short. War in the Pocket is only like 6 episodes, and is fantastic. 08 MS Team is focused more on ground, in both cases, really. I want both of these. I should have waited. Should have saved that dash. I'll come back for Plasma Core. Yeah, I love Robotech. Again, like I think this shows is as much of a love letter to Robotech / Macross as it is to Gundam.
Man, I wish you fought as well as you explode.
Yeah, I ran a 3-year-long Legend of the Five Rings game in college. To whoever just asked that, I was like, it was a massive multi-generational thing with weird alternate histories, and it was a whole thing. So yes, I've played both L5R, the table. Ooh, almost ran into that. The tabletop game and the card game. I used to play the card game competitively. Gundam MS 08 Team is so good. It's so good. I don't need that. I like this song a whole bunch. This is one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love non-mecha anime also. Or not. This is the thing is like,
found a human.
that's like saying like, oh, I love movies.
Laters.
Like, yeah, like, well, which ones? There's a bunch of different types of those. What's it mean to say you love movies? At this point, what's it mean to say you like anime? Really, like,
Shield to fly.
I guess it means, like, conversationally, what you're saying is that you're familiar with a set of,
Ooh.
kind of a set of tropes that is fairly common among a bunch of different types of anime, right? But I guess I don't. It's weird because, like, I'm not watching a ton of anime right now. In the last year, I've watched, because I'm watching Gundam right now. I recently finished watching the previous Gundam G Reco. I've been watching some Gatchaman Crowds. I'm trying to get through Psycho Pass, but like, some JoJo's. I really want to get to One Man Punch, but I just don't know that I'm gonna have the time to.
Ooh.
It's just like, it's such a matter of time. I haven't had the free time I used to have to watch stuff like that in years and years, you know? So, which is really frustrating. A lot of it also comes to the fact that, like, so much of the anime I would love to watch is subs only, and I just don't have the time to sit down and just watch something and read it. Because almost all the stuff that I have time to watch at this point is while I'm also working on something else, you know? Yeah, I mentioned Gurren Lagann a little while ago. Yeah, Patlabor is really good too. So is I think
Jump in.
God, I know it's not. I know I'm not supposed to call it Votoms. I just forget what the actual people want me to say. VOTOMS as another real mecha anime. People who don't know, mecha anime, there's kind of a subdivision between real and super. Real robot anime is some stuff like Macross, aka Robotech, Gundam. Not all Gundam, but most Gundam. You know, things that are Patlabor, Votoms, Aldnoah Zero. Stuff that's like, okay, these are robots of human size and scale that are often tied up in political conflict, stuff like that. And on the other side, there are super robot shows like Mazinger Z or Gao Gaigar, where things are just like, or in Gundam's case, G Gundam, where it's like these are giant super robots that do things like punch the sun. Which is cool and goofy, and like it's not that I'm anti-fun, I swear. It's just I really like robot stories, mecha stories that are kind of grounded in that way. Yeah, I just like plenty of Gundam series. I'm not a big fan of Wing. Like Wing was my entry to Gundam, but years later, I don't think it holds up pretty well. It's incredibly long and very little happens. There's lots of reused animation. I don't love the suits, and like the power scale difference is just like not super good. My favorite stuff of Gundam Wing is like the first couple of episodes where they're setting up the world and everything feels so tentative and risky. But as the Wing and some of the other suits get really good, and the Wing Zero and some of the other suits get really good, and it's just like they're destroying huge like battalions of mobile suits. It's just not my jam. I don't love Destiny. Seed. And I really don't like Seed Destiny. But Seed always felt like a strange attempt to retell the original Gundam story, which is cool, and I'm glad they tried it. But it just doesn't capture what I liked about that initial story very well. And I have mixed feelings about 00. Am I doing pulling this out? There we go.
Copy that. Return to the warp point.
That's exactly what it was. Yes, someone in the chat just said that Wing was trying to pull a game of one-upsmanship constantly with the different Gundams and the different mechs, which is like, yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. Oh, there's an exit that way, isn't there? There is. Where it's just like, no, I'm more powerful, and like, I don't really care how powerful the suit is. Like, there's a point at which what I care about is like what's happening with and around the suit, less than like the suit itself. I like G-Reco a whole bunch, actually. I just finished it. I really want to see Turna. That's like the one that I think that's just coming out now on DVD and stuff, or on Blu-ray. Got ya. Alright, these guys are good. Hey, you don't feel any pain, huh? No pain? What's good, homie? Okay, I should back up. Oh, there it is. Boom. I lost their shield. That was bad. I got too greedy. Let's go through this way. Doo-doo-doo.
Found him. Contact! Human! I'm hit!
It's also one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I definitely ran into this a couple years ago where when like people first started reading my stuff, I was like, oh yeah, Austin, he loves cyberpunk stuff, and I do love cyberpunk stuff. But it quickly became like, oh, like, have you seen this cyberpunk thing? And it's like, yeah or no, because like I actually like a billion things. Like I do like cyberpunk a whole bunch, but I also like a million other things a whole bunch. And the thing I end up liking the most are works that, and this is the same for mecha anime. It's why I like 0080 Stardust Memory so much. Is I like works that are aware of genre conventions and then like displace them or play with them or ignore them. Ignore is probably not right. I'm interested in orcs that ignore them, but I'm always happy when like a show, when an anime plays with the conventions of that genre, or when a movie does that, or a comic. You
Good
know?
luck next time.
Yeah, I do like a million different things too, so I could be here all night. Oh wait, I will be here all night.
Oh, you wanna play?
I should not be not looking at the screen right now.
My shield.
There we
Wasn't
go.
bad.
Park. I really don't need this,
Come on back, A-Tech.
the tutorial stuff on screen, do I? Man, it's really tough to keep people's interest in tabletop games. The best thing you can do is one, set expectations immediately. Explain what it is really that you'll be doing, and like not in the kind of power fantasy way. Like, it's cool to pitch people like, oh, it's cool because you can go and kill goblins and get treasure, which is great. But like, if you're playing D&D and you're playing, if you're playing Fourth, explain that like, oh, this is a kind of like a tactical RPG. You're going to make a lot of tactical decisions about your character. Character's going to have a set amount of abilities. And you're going to have to use them in a smart way to defeat difficult combat obstacles. If you're playing a game like Dungeon World, it's like, oh, well, this is kind of like an improv conversation. We're improving out a story about a fantastic world, and you tell me what your character does, and we figure out if they do it well, if they fail at doing it, or if they go somewhere in between. And the second thing to do, and this is really important as a DM or a GM or an MC, depending on what you're playing, is to be incredibly attentive to what your players want, and that does not mean giving them what they want. It means learning how to kind of anticipate what they're looking for, and then also how to like keep them tuned in. Not just tuned in from week to week, but like in the middle of the game with stuff that you know that they're into. I'm gonna hold on to the rest of this money. So, for instance, mouse guard is really good. Full disclosure, my roommate worked on mouse guard. So for instance, the thing I'm kind of talking about is we can kind of talk about this. That's a good name, and along came Brouhaha.
Okay.
You can think about tabletop games as being,
What exactly is
or
Data Cube?
when you build a
Intel. If we
character
know where the enemy is, we can avoid
in a
them.
tabletop game, the player who's building that
could also
character
take
is
them head on.
sort of
Or
setting up
we
what
can avoid them.
some games. I'm playing the Sprawl right now. It's an RPG called the Sprawl, and the writer of that, Hamish Cameron, talks about setting up flags. That the players are kind of setting out flags for what they're interested in when they design their character, and in a bunch of other places. So if you think about something like D&D, where like you are a ranger, and one of the things that's in D&D all the time is that rangers get favored enemies. You can say, like, oh, I'm a ranger, and I hate goblins. When you do that, what you're effectively saying to the GM is like, yo, I want to fight some goblins. Give me some goblins to fight. And if the GM fails to do that, then like you have this wasted ability, and the GM has kind of missed this thing that you're hoping to do, which is fight goblins. This is true for any ability you have in any RPG, and it's also, I've been thinking a lot about this in terms of video games lately too, because sometimes games are able to anticipate this really well, and other times they're just not, right? For instance,
Equipped and on board.
let's say in this game I picked up the anti-fire stuff. I don't know this for sure, but my guess is that there's nothing in the algorithm that will then, the level design algorithm, that will then favor showing me that there are like lava pits or whatever. And I'm not saying that it should, but in a tabletop game, like if you have an ability that lets you resist fire pits, like a decent DM should super let you have a fire pit eventually to walk into, or should at least play with that in a way where it's like, oh, if only you'd gotten that fire pit ability, or if only you'd taken this other different ability. Like, it should be the GM should be aware of that stuff. So I had a player recently who, so I'm running this game that is like a sci-fi mech cyberpunk thing, and one of the players is just like a hacker and who does not have a mech, right? One of the players has a big spaceship, two of them have mechs, and one of them is just like a hacker who hacks enemy mechs. And in the first session, he was like, oh, like, I really wish I could just get on top of one of these, like, weird drones we have and just fly around out there. I was like, oh, okay, like, he wants an ability. He wants a way to get out there and be part of, like, the battlefield here. He doesn't just want to be in, like, his cyber deck room on the spaceship, which is totally fair. Like, I definitely get that. So I eventually gave him an opportunity a few episodes later where he could get one of those things. He could get something to, like, he kind of got, like, a cloud, what's his name from Tailspin? Cloud Kicker. Like hoverboard, but it came at like pretty great cost, and it was a situation where when that happened, it felt rad because like he got this thing he wanted, but it also meant that I could like hold it over his head a little bit because I knew he wanted it, right? And so this guy got wrecked here. It's one of those things where like once you know what your players want, it's a lot easier to keep them invested in the moment to moment and the week to week. How do I deal with players who attack everything? Talking to Vinny about this recently for similar reasons. You know, the most honest possible answer is like I don't, because I don't play with them. There was a time when I had to do that, and the answer is just like, if you keep attacking things, they're going to die eventually. They're going to run into something that they shouldn't have attacked. But the real way that I eventually started dealing with players who attacked everything is I don't run games for those people. Like I make it clear that's not the sort of game I want to run, and I have no problem with people who want to run those games. Again, like I think there are cool games that are just like dungeon crawls and are combat encounters. I think that's a totally rad way to play tabletop games. It's just like not what I'm particularly interested in running. Vinny, yeah, definitely. We should. Speaking of attacking everything, we should definitely play some Vermintide later. Rifts may be the best unplayable tabletop game of all time.
Stop running! I found a human!
Leave the fighting to the big boys. Stupid Empire!
Contact!
Cut!
Better luck next time. Ooh.
Okay, what was that? Oh, nice. Target overclock.
Beam! Data cube collected.
Gotta get those data
Return
cubes.
to the war point.
Yeah, that's rad. Totally. Someone just said when they ran their game, the ranger picked dragons as their favorite enemy, and so that whole game became like the hunt to go get that dragon. And that's a really good example of like, yeah, it doesn't mean you have to fight dragons every week, right? But like, oh, this is a central thing that is a key motivation for this character and now for the game. I like that a lot. It's a good way of doing it. I also like games that are kind of focused and small in that way, that are like, this is what our objective is. We want to go kill that dragon. You know? My first time D&D 5e DM rolling for the PCs tonight with everybody. Any tips? I haven't played 5e. I kind of bounced on D&D after 4th. I've read some really good things about 5e. And a lot of the things that I've liked, this is the weird thing, is like a lot of the things I like about 5th edition, from what I've read, are imported from the independent tabletop scene from the last, like, oops, I forgot about this guy, from the last 5 or 6 years. Things like, you know, kind of conditional success and failure, where it's not just you did it or you didn't, it's this nice middle ground. Things like backgrounds, where it's not just, missed him, where it's not just, I am this class, but like I'm from this background, and that background gives you some bonuses and helps you kind of understand who it is you're playing as. Missed him. Let's just blow you up. Hop over that.
It'll take more than that.
Are there any good rocks around here? Hot Galak-Z tip. Those like other rocks, these ones, are super good.
My shield.
Because they take really good damage. Oh, come on. Oh, that was bad. That was bad on me. You should be so well versed in gaming and anime. How do you have the time to do all this gaming? I don't do much gaming. That's the actual thing. Is like these days, especially, I don't have too much time to play stuff anymore.
Bringing you in.
Munchkin's a fun like waste of time. It's been years since I played Munchkin. How did I meet Adam Coble? For people who don't know, Adam Coble, who is one of the co-writers on Dungeon World, which is a game I like a bunch. I play in a weekly game with him on Friday nights. I play Burning Wheel, and earlier this year I played a game of Apocalypse World with him. I've been doing the mech parry. I think you might be back behind a few seconds, but I've been doing it. Adam knows. So like I said, my roommate. So I had a good friend a few years ago. I've been a good friend a few years ago, who's in the. I got nuts and bolts. I didn't even notice I got nuts and bolts. That is the best upgrade in this game. I had a friend who's in the indie tabletop scene, as just like. He's not like a big deal or anything. He just like participates in conversations and goes to conventions and stuff. And he introduced me to Adam a couple of years ago, or I guess about a year ago. He sent my info over to Adam because Adam was thinking about doing some streams. I was like, oh, Austin would be a good fit. He's done some streams. He knows tabletop stuff pretty well. So I'm not playing as much Netrunner as I want to. I think I'm going to go get Data and Destiny this weekend though, because the new runners sound so cool. I've been listening to Terminal 7 earlier today. Wolves and Betrayals by J.K. Palmer.
Satellites can detect matter through any material, including rock, metal, and magnetic fields.
I probably won't play some Dwarf Fortress. I'm like really out of practice.
I don't even like toast.
Go destroy those satellites.
Chatster says, how do you learn the systems of tabletop games? When I play, everyone gets bogged down in math. That is a super common thing, and it's one of the reasons why I'm very particular about what games I run right now. It's why I run games like Dungeon World, which like just don't have a lot of math. Like, check this out, I'll teach you how to play Dungeon World right now. Take 2d6, roll 2d6 plus an attribute. If you got over a 10, you get the thing you want. If you got from a 7 to a 9, you got the thing you want, but there was a complication. If you got under a 6, the GM gets to say that something bad happened to you. And it's just like variations of that very basic stat system over and over again with like very cool kind of sub-variations that let you tell really good and immersive stories. Immersive's the wrong word. Yeah, I listen to a million podcasts. I try to like cut back, but I listen to the Bombcast every week. Still, I did before. I did, for years, and I haven't stopped it since. Part of that is also selfish. It's like I don't want to just repeat the stuff that they say on Tuesday, on Friday for us. Yeah, I do think the D&D-isms of Dungeon World can sometimes detract, but I get it at the same time. What else do I listen to? I'm kind of boring in some ways. Like, I listen to This American Life and Radio Lab and Planet Money. I listen to Idle Thumbs, and I listen to 3 Moves Ahead. I listen to... what else do I listen to regularly? I'm like behind on my Bim Bam and Adventure Zone, but I really love everything the Math Warriors do. I listen to a bunch of stuff. What else? There's even more. Slate Political Gabfest I listen to. There's more. I should check my phone.
I'm nearing the satellite.
Copy that. Destroy it.
Thanks for playing Undertale. I like that game a bunch. Someone said that they... Sorry, what am I doing? Oh, I'm destroying it. This is what I get for trying to read stuff. Yeah, I watch some American TV. I'm pretty far back on stuff that That's not true. Like, I guess I finished Hannibal. Was the last show that I actually finished. What else am I week to week on? I watch CSI Cyber because I hate myself and I love bad TV. Favorite comic book of all time? I like James Robinson's run on Starman a whole bunch. Yeah, Memory Palace is cool. I've listened to Memory Palace, and I've listened to some. 99% Invisible, which I like a lot too. Like, it's a matter of time, Oh, I really love. There's a podcast called The Arcade, which is not a game podcast. And it's over now, but it was from a literary magazine in Canada called Hazlitt, and that had fantastic interviews for like a year, and that back catalog was super good. That's called the
Leave
arcade.
the fighting to the big boys.
I've watched Person of Interest. I watched a lot of Person of Interest last year in preparation for writing a piece on Watch Dogs. I like watched the first like season and a half of Person of Interest. It's fun. It's not bad enough for me. I like what I think of as good TV, and I like what I think of as like kind of shitty TV, and
Get some.
there's plenty of like solid TV in between that I just don't. It doesn't do it for me.
Why you? What's that? I'll just take a step.
Oh yeah, fucking Starman is so good. People who haven't read Starman should think about checking it out.
Well played.
Starman is a story of man. Starman is like kind of a classic setup in that it's just like, oh, it's the. Sorry, I have to deal with these guys. These guys are really a pain. These guys wreck me when they first show up. Can I grab them and they still shoot? Is it these guys? Yeah, they are. Okay.
Damn Raiders! What is it, amateur hour?
What's my hand set up for Galak-Z? I don't seem to have all the fingers I need. It's one of the only games that I keep all four index and middle fingers on the top. So it's right finger is right index is boost, left index is strafe, left trigger or left middle finger is reverse, right middle finger is regular boost. It's just accelerate. X is fire. So yeah, right thumb is right side, left is left. I am happy to see White Wolf out from CCP. I have no idea if the Warcraft movie is going to be any good. I like the director a whole bunch. We'll see, you know? What's good? Okay, let's get on that defensive.
Take a hit.
Oh, bad.
You can't run.
I can run. You don't know. You don't know me, giant robot. I do lots of things. Yeah. So someone mentions that Seth Rollins, and Alex told me this just before we started doing the Beastcast. Seth Rollins, WWE champion, is out for 6 to 9 months or something, right? That's ridiculous. That's like a huge blow. I haven't tried Evil Dead yet. Like I said, my time is like super limited, so I'm not as happy with I don't get to try out everything that I'd like to these days. Is there goods here? Yeah, there are.
Just in time.
I don't hate Night Vale, but it hasn't hit me the way I think I wanted it to originally. Oh, what hit me? Come on. Hi.
Saw something. Such insolence.
Oh,
No
bad.
shields, stupid Empire.
Cool, he almost killed me. That would have been bad. There we go.
See ya. Ooh.
Yeah, I guess Roman could pick it up here, right? Oh, I don't like 3-shot burst that much.
Satellite destroyed.
Copy
change
that.
this out.
Return to the war point.
I'm on the wrong side. Shit.
It's decided. First me. How about I kill you first? Yes. Yes. Now I come for you.
Come on. Oh, bad.
Shields
Bad, bad, bad. Bad, bad. Bad, bad bathhouse. There we go.
The light comes for me.
Got it.
wasn't bad.
Okay. Oh, I got precision muzzle. Oh, I just did not in the.
Some fighting.
Right.
Ow, ow, ow.
What 2016 games am I most looking forward to? God, good question. There's a bunch, I guess. I've been having a hard time putting my finger on them. No, I'll probably do the solo tonight from home. what do I think of Hannibal? I really like season 1 of Hannibal. Here's the thing with Hannibal. Here's what happens. For me, this is what my run felt like. Season 1 of Hannibal, I adored, and part of it was that it, again, like I mentioned, it played with and overcame a lot of the genre tropes from procedural crime drama. You know, I think like a lot of people have watched a lot of Law and Order, SVU, and you know, even stuff like Dexter, which has some elements of procedural television. And I think season 1 of Hannibal was fantastic because it, in my mind, I was comparing it to shows like Law and Order, and it was gorgeous, and it played with some themes I really love, and so like really great, really enjoyed it. Season 2 was, I didn't love as much. This is a weird thing, but like I have a weird pet peeve with some TV shows, which is I've always disliked episodes where it's like, well, this isn't the status quo. You know, like the lead character is locked up in this other place now for this episode, and how are they ever going to get out? And maybe that's not true. Maybe there are episodes or instances of that I really like. That, like, as soon as I said it, like everything else I ever say, I immediately start thinking of exceptions to what I've just said. But growing up, at least, like watching like cartoons and stuff, even. It always bugged me when it was like, oh, in this episode, Alex Mack loses her powers. Like, what's gonna happen? And the answer is always, oh, she's gonna get her powers back. Like, I don't mean to spoil this for you, dog, but she's Alex. This is called The Secret Life of Alex Mack. That show doesn't exist anymore if she doesn't have secret powers. She needs that secret life. And so season 2 of Hannibal, like, it was really hard for me to care about the stakes of Will, of where Will was at in that season, because I knew that it wasn't permanent. And that's a really bad way to think about TV. I don't think that's necessarily good, but it was where I was definitely at watching it. I like the precision muzzle a lot. Where's that go? That goes on the muzzle. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do the precision muzzle. That's fun. Let's use all of our money. Why not? Let's get off burst and put it on auto. A little bit slower, but like a little bit more powerful too. So anyway, so yeah, that was season 2, and then season 3, you know, season 3 of Hannibal is a thing that I'm going to think about a lot for a long time, because I came into it with really, really high hopes and left it without those. I left it kind of disappointed. I think a weird combination of things made me not really love that season. In the first 2 seasons of that show, it feels like a lot of the surreal elements are grounded either in specific medical conditions or in a specific thematic language that they've established for communicating like emotions and ideas. And I don't feel like that was consistent in the 3rd season, which is like very subjective, like all like TV criticism is, but that's how it felt. This guy got toasted.
Yes.
Let's dance with you. Why not? Let's just dance a little. Hey, buddy.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, shoot me. Do it.
Ooh, he wasn't bad.
There it is. Okay. I mentioned Person of Interest like 5 minutes ago. I gave it a shot. I watched like the season and a half.
I'm here, Beam.
Bringing
okay.
you in. Cool.
I did not finish MGS5. I don't know that I'll have time to. I just like, it's a lot on my plate right now. I'm 30 or 40 hours into it. I haven't had a chance to play Sybil yet this weekend. It's like 100% on my list for this weekend. I'm back on Mr. Robot. I'm like 5 or 6 episodes in. It's high on my list of a thing to finish. God, Nuts and Bolts, best upgrade. Save my money. Yeah, I've liked everything I've seen of Brian Fuller's, basically. Like, even with Hannibal, where like I was disappointed by that 3rd season, There are some high points in that third season also. Like, I think there's this, like, almost tantric build-up in those first 5 episodes of just Hannibal being such a shit, and then,
So, ATAC, there's
Jack,
a ton of Imperials
Lawrence
in our
Fishburne's
way.
character,
I need
beating the
extraction
hell out of him is
Vexilius
just,
from
like,
the sneak
such
past.
a cathartic
So what are you thinking?
moment.
I'm thinking you head to the Imperial munitions and sabotage their machinery.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Shiny Llama says
You
that
love
they
crazy.
picked up,
Oh, be
Hardboiled Wonderland and the End of the World,
Know me too
which is
well.
what the Calcutech, the name that I use on Steam and some other places, as a reference to, and they really like it. Awesome. Good to hear. Man, I don't know what to think about the MOBA craze. We just talked about it a little bit on this week's Beastcast, a little bit, and we talked about it last week when we talked about Battleborn.
well played.
I get it. I get where that comes from. It's just also not a thing that I'm going to be moved by anytime
Another
soon,
one
probably.
down.
I haven't played Overwatch. I mean, I know it's not really a MOBA, but it is a hero-based thing, you know? I like Carnival a lot. That's I haven't seen it in years though, so I'm probably not really. I don't really have anything to say because it's been 6 years since I've watched it.
Nice.
I'm a Mike MST3K guy. I don't dislike Joel. Joel's grown on me, you know, over the years. I used to be like vehemently Mike only.
Yes.
I love The Wire. The Wire is probably... I loved The Wire. I haven't watched it in a long time. It was for a long time my favorite show. I think I'd still call it that. I think I have more reservations about that show than I did at the time, as political events in the last like couple of years have led me to rethink some of the way the show depicts Baltimore and kind of like communities in flux and communities that are trying to deal with things that are a little bit more complicated even than the show even suggests. But overall, I think that show is a pretty fantastic introduction into thinking about issues of crime and race in contemporary America.
Taste the might of the Empire.
If you kind of haven't given those things a lot of complex thought, it's a lot easier to do that when it's like characters you care about than when it's a textbook or an essay. And so I think it does that fantastically well. No spoilers for The Wire, I promise. Spoilers for The Wire include Omar's dope.
I know you're here.
Stringer is the man.
Next time.
McNulty done fucked up. I haven't seen Show Me a Hero yet. It's on my list, along with a billion other things I'd love to have the time to watch.
Yeah, I like better stuff.
Oh, sticky missiles. Nice. Let me go back and check that other. I'll just go blow this
ATAC,
stuff
the
up. I'm
machinery
here.
is right ahead.
Okay, lining up shots.
I was not, in fact, lining up those shots well at all.
Machinery is destroyed.
You bought us some time.
Returning to warp point.
I've got you now. Engaging. Engaging enemy. Feel my wrath.
Stupid Empire!
My shield.
Ah, I ran into that electricity thing. That's like the #1 way I've fucked up on otherwise really good runs, has been running into those things. These things here. Sometimes I'll even grab them on the wrong end, and that is the worst.
Damage. Die, fool.
Burn off their shields real quick, toss that way. There's a kill.
Well played.
Second kill, and a third kill. Yeah, again, I'm playing read-only memories. I need more time with it. I'm like 3 hours in, something like that. I like it. I like the world that it creates. I mentioned that last week, too. Where am I at? I'll get that one back. Do I have anything there? I have bounce shot in bullet special, don't I? Okay. I like downwell. I'm pretty bad at downwell, so I'll get pellets. Let's get pellets. Oh, back up. Let's use the buttons. Use your buttons, Austin. There we go. I started playing the new Anno. I haven't gotten deep enough into it. I already wish there wasn't combat. I'm glad that it's in its own weird separate thing, but I just wish it wasn't there at all. I don't think I'd stream Kentucky Route Zero. I love Kentucky Route Zero. It's one of my favorite games from the last few years. Chapter 3 had one of my favorite moments in video gamers in the last... It was one of my favorite moments in video games. I don't know that it's a game I feel like streaming, though. It's just not... It's hard to explain. I've actually had this discussion with some friends before who wanted to stream it. It's hard to be like, oh, it's a very personal game, but the joy I get from it is it's a joy that's very much about being in my own head and not being talkative. And that's not necessarily the best stream thing. Oh, I don't want this. That's pretty good. This is maybe the best place for it, is these little tight corridors where I'm getting 3 hits.
Oh, gross, gross, gross! Oh, that's gonna smell.
Yeah, I'll go back and play games I've missed. There's always a weird limit on that, which is that what I consider, or like what feels, it's not like even a careful, rational thought. It's just like what feels approachable and playable today is not what I thought was back then, right? Like I've gone back to try to replay Jade Empire since when it first came out, and I've had a hard time doing that actually. And that's a game I've played, or I actually have that problem with a lot of computer RPGs, which I liked a lot. You know, I played the hell out of Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 and stuff. Going back to them is really hard for me, and that's actually kind of sad. There are games that I really enjoyed from when I was younger, and I just don't have the time or the patience, or I've trained myself away from being able to play them without feeling impatient and rushed. I never played Gods Will Be Watching. That is actually on my list of things that I was thinking about checking out for the stream. We'll see.
Taking Imperial fire! Shields! No shields.
Oh shit! Things are going real bad, y'all. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Alright, what do we got? Let me go back and heal. I mentioned earlier I have no idea if the Warcraft movie will be any good. I didn't even watch this most recent trailer. Again, I like the director a whole bunch, so I'll see it, probably. I'm curious, so I'll see it, probably. You know, didn't spend all that much time with World of Warcraft back years ago. I'm not super interested in a discussion about whether games like KRZ evolve versus transcend video games. I think that there's actually... Maybe I am involved in that discussion. So someone asks, Heat Drive 88 says, do games like Kentucky Route Zero truly evolve video games, or does it actually separate itself and transcend on its own? I tend to believe the latter. I think it's a tough question, and I've actually really swayed back and forth on this. There's kind of a larger question there, kind of an ontological question there, that I've swayed back and forth on for years and years and years, using some other examples. So, for instance, the example I always use is there's a famous Western called The Searchers, and for years I'd say, is The Searchers really a Western, or is it so different than the rest of Westerns that it's not really a Western at all, that it transcends the Western into being something else? And for years, that's what I said. I said, like, it's not really a Western. It is a, you know, it's this other, it's just a drama that happens to take place in the Wild West. But over time, I started thinking a lot about what the politics of that statement were. And a statement like that tends to be about asserting that there is a core, a kind of ahistorical, like almost a soul. There's a soul to the Western, right? Like there's the Western, and this thing is so unlike the Western that it can't count as it, and that's it. Like it's And in this way, you might say the same thing about Kentucky Route Zero, right? Like, oh, it's not really a video game; it transcends the form of video game or something. And I think that that's an interesting position, or I think it's like emotionally, it's a thing I can totally understand. So I love that series so much. But in some ways, it's also it's like I need to retreat to not die. It's also almost an insult in a weird way, right? Not only to Kentucky Route Zero, but also to games, because it suggests like, oh no, games can't do this thing, so this thing must not be a game. When in fact, I think what it does, it doesn't evolve anything. It doesn't change video games. It reveals something about the form of games, which is they were always capable of this in some form or another. Galak-Z Zero is also, of course, a very specific example where that works because of how much it is a love letter to old adventure games, right? Like the most recent episode of Galak-Z Zero is pretty literally a love letter to games like Colossal Cave Adventure and some other early games. Whew, let's duck down this way. And that's... It's like I don't want to take away from games. I don't want to take Kentucky Route Zero away from games. You know, like, it gets to be a fucking game. Like, Just Cause 3 and Kentucky Route Zero are both games. And Howling Dogs is a game. And, you know, like, games are amazing in that way. They can do all of those things.
I'm here, Beam.
Bringing you in.
Yep, Mike Lemmer describes KRZ as character creation via dialogue. I agree with that completely. I love that. It's the thing I like the most about it. KRZ is like my go-to example for why I'm often annoyed by like statements like the dialogue in this game doesn't really matter because it doesn't change anything. In Kentucky Route Zero, like your dialogue choices change something by their nature of being meaningful, right? Like the choice you made is the thing that changed the thing.
Great news. We're within striking distance of Akamoto.
All right, I've been waiting for this.
Akamoto's within an escape pod. We also detect significant...
Yeah, I'm down with JoJo. I like. Have you seen my Twitter name?
Roger. Bravely defeat some Imperials and rescue my greatest hero.
Do I get down with any art galleries? It's been a while since I've been in a gallery. I went to CalArts, and every Thursday night was gallery night. So like I've done my fair share of hanging out in art galleries and getting really drunk. Let's turn off blast fire. Go back to that auto fire. Wait, oh, it's also burst. Right. I love Deadwood. Deadwood is fantastic. The thought of them doing more Deadwood is just like too much to even consider.
SOS! 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 This is Admiral Akamoto, UENA.
Copy that, SOS. This is the Xelios, UENA. Can you hear me?
Top 5 favorite author or favorite novels by author.
Break and attack.
By any author?
Face me.
What I studied at CalArts was aesthetics and politics, which is the only non-fine arts degree at CalArts. That was my master's in a thing called aesthetics and politics.
6235X.
My top 5 favorite books are novels, specifically novels.
Please respond.
Jeez, that's a tough question. You know, I think I cite Wind Up Bird Chronicle as my favorite over and over. I think I'd be disingenuous to probably not include Neuromancer in there, which may not even be my favorite of the Sprawl trilogy, but like, it sets up that world in a way that's so evocative and good. I haven't had time to look at One Man Punch yet, sadly. I really want to. I love Fiasco. I have a... Where is it? You can't see it. You can't see it from here, can you? Over there is a copy of Fiasco that I've been rereading for the first, just in case I'd like to run something like that soon with some people.
Reply to Akamoto SOS.
I'm a pretty big fan.
Attempting rescue.
If you come
Is loot the worst thing to happen to games?
Roger.
Loot predates games.
I've got a problem. Stand by.
Sir,
I'd better find him.
find him fast.
You know. Even magical loot predates games. Even though I don't believe in magic, magical loot predates games. I talked about why I'm not a big G Gundam fan earlier, sadly.
Xelios, please come in. Invitation to reply.
That's a really big question. Someone asked why Bayonetta is considered empowering, but something like Onichambara is considered exploitative. That's a big question, bigger than me to handle on this stream while playing Galak-Z. There's a lot of really good writing about that, and if you're genuinely interested in it, you can dig into it. People like Todd Harper and Matty Myers have written about that series pretty well, so dig it up. You know, I never got into Dark Tower. It's a thing that felt. So you know how Vinny has that thing where it's like if there is a series with like lore, he like loves to dig into it so much. I get really intimidated when it's like, oh, there are a billion books and there are a ton of little side stories and it's so much to read. So I just know I don't have the time. Like I've been reading the same novel for the last 3 months, and it's like a long novel, but it isn't that long. I just haven't had the free time between school and work and family and stuff, right? So.
See ya. Ooh.
Yeah, I would totally do a bomb after reading. No, I understood what he meant about loot. I was being a fucking dick. I was being Austin. Like, but I also kind of mean it, right? Like, I don't think loot is ruining games, because I think that's a very vague statement that requires a lot of precision to be useful. I do my best to avoid imprecise. Imprecise is maybe not even the right word. See, this is what I mean. I do my best to make sure that I'm clear with the terminology I'm using, and I don't think that loot is ruining games. I think it's not so much. I don't know that's.
Being attacked.
I think there's a lot of wiggle room for what we mean when we say that, and there's a lot of moments where like you have to be sure. Oh, is it loot that's ruining games, or is it something else that is being worked through via loot? Is loot an element of something broader or something bigger? But also, like, you know, we live in a world where medieval Europe was filled with reliquaries, where people had recovered ancient artifacts from the Middle East, and other people came to worship them. Like we live in a world that has had loot, has had things that we think of as loot, even if they haven't actually done the things that they've been promised to do. P.S. That's the game I want. I want the game where I want Diablo, where like you get a thing and it says like, oh yeah, this gives you X, and it's like, did it? Did this give me a bonus 5% chance to dodge? I can't tell. Like, I believe it did. I have faith, of course. Of course, it gave me 5% chance to dodge. My favorite thematic setting for a video game? I don't know.
Yes.
I have read 1Q84. I think the second half of that book is so much better than the first half. So if you're, I understand being intimidated because it is a huge book, but yeah, I don't think much is ruining games. The stuff that I think is rough for games, the stuff that I think is like quote unquote ruining games, are things like the unsustainability of the market environment, the hours of crunch that devs work to produce things that they love, and things like that. What have I gone to bat for? People who said, someone just asked me what I would have gone to bat for Game of the Year last year. I have a Game of the Year list on this website. You can look it up from last year. My number 1 game was Fantasy Life. My number 2 game was 80 Days. I would have made sure at least one of those were in the conversation. The earliest form I remember posting on, that's a legit good question.
I've spotted the escape pod.
God, I don't even know. Come here. I would have to get in there.
Beam, the escape pod's empty. Where's
Oh,
Akamoto?
great, he moved.
You're right. I'm not detecting any signs of life inside. This must be a decoy. Wait, I'm picking up a faint signal from the pod's transponder. I can run a parabolic trace if we boost the signal with your ship's long-range transmitter. Just stay near the pod for a few seconds while I run the trace.
Influential non-fiction book is a really good question. Oh boy.
I've got it. There's another pod on the same frequency in a nearby wreck. Sending the coordinates
That's a
your way.
huge question.
There's still hope.
Move fast, ATAC.
It's probably. Oh, you're basically asking me, like, this is basically like a dissertation question, right? Like, in some ways. It might be something by a rent. It might be. It's probably. It could be Illuminations by Benjamin. It could be a bunch of things, man. Like it's probably something in the vein of modern philosophy or critical theory. It's probably something from Walter Benjamin or Theodore Adorno. It could be some Foucault. It could be some. It could be Arendt. Like Hannah Arendt is fantastic, and things like like her notion of statehood and violence and love are all like very core to the way I think about politics. I like Yeezus a whole bunch. I know like a lot of people were kind of down on it, but I think that album goes hard. I think that album is like real rough. You know, I think the thing that I will say the most against Yeezus is that album feels a lot like Kanye West wishes he was Death Grips, which is like a fine thing to want to be though. So like, who am I? Yeah, I stand by KOTOR 2 being my favorite game. Totally. For a lot of the reasons I've talked about here already, which is like, KOTOR 2 is this weird deconstruction of Star Wars, and I love Star Wars. I like Star Wars like by itself, but I really like it when stories in Star Wars play with Star Wars. I like Derrida. My favorite Derrida is probably Archive Fever. Probably. I like Death Grips. I'm like vaguely ready to fight for Goaty time. You know, I have my taste. I know what I like, but I'm as always just like way more interested in pushing people to explain why they like something. I'm incredibly interested in why other people's tastes evolve the way they do, and like it's often the case for me that I don't know why I liked a thing until I've been pushed to explain why I like a thing, and that can be really productive and interesting. I'm on a PC right now. I think I have a 780 in this. I'll pull up my specs later. Why not?
Woo!
I have a level 59 character in Old Republic Online. I never beat that game. I'm like on the final planet. I'm on Corellia with my Old Republic main, and we just never finished it. My group just like my computer died, and there was a death in one of our families, and it was just like we just didn't finish it up.
My shields are down.
AT aliens. AT aliens over a common. Man, I don't know. That's rough.
I'm really angry.
I don't want to make that decision.
The arrogant fish face coming in hot. Shields down.
I honestly don't know about Life is Strange being done before Game of the Year. I really like it a lot, but I just don't know what the logistics are about getting it done before that. I would like to.
Command your empire.
Die, human.
Better luck next time.
I don't know if I didn't play Destiny until this year, so I don't know if I would have argued against giving it the Game of the Year, not the Game of the Year, but number 10 Game of the Year last year. I came to it late, and I came to it having heard those discussions, right? And so I was actually way higher on that game than I think a lot of people were. I was definitely part of the kind of second wave of people liking that game, the kind of like backlash, where it was like, this game's alright, like, because I knew what it was. Like, I didn't have any false notions. I wasn't hyped on it from the jump, you know?
Don't run away.
Mass Effect 1 or Mass Effect 2 is a really tough one. I'm a Mass Effect 1 guy. I love the combat in Mass Effect 2, and I would absolutely take a Mass Effect 1 with in the Mass Effect 2 engine. And y'all just wouldn't see me for a couple of weeks while I played that game a bunch. But I just love the kind of structure of Mass Effect 1, and I think a lot about that as...
I'm getting attacked by a madman.
I think that's probably one of my favorite games of the last generation. I'd love to play the Knights of the Fallen expansion for the Old Republic. I just don't have it. I never played Wolfenstein New Order last year. I just didn't have the time or the money at the time.
I've been hit. For the Empire.
Thank Christ. Okay, repair. Extra armor because I'm going to need it. And that's good because I don't really need any of these other things. God, do I want... What's the boss in this level? Is there a boss in this level? I've completely forgotten. I don't remember. Yeah, I love both Emmy 1 and Emmy 2. Seriously. Very good.
Ooh, bye-bye.
And you know, here's the other thing that's, you know, I don't know. I also like Mass Effect 3. Like, I'm not... Mass Effect 3 is another game that I was not, like, disappointed by in the way a lot of fans were. It kind of met my expectations pretty well.
Boom!
Yeah, I just said I would totally buy a new version of the Mass Effect Trilogy HD. Yes, absolutely would. Especially if they actually went in and did the work of... Which would be so much work of converting Mass Effect 1 into the later games engines. It would just be an enormous amount of work. I haven't messed with Horus Lords yet for ZK2. I'm definitely curious about it. Oh, how do I open these again? Oh, here it is. Oh, this
Bean,
thing, right.
I really hope you found the right pod this time.
This is gonna go bad. I'm gonna die here. No, I'm not. I'm real good. I'm good at video games. I'm Austin. I'm gonna kill these robots and these turrets. Alright, okay. I remember how this works. There is... How does this work, guys? I need to open up that door. And pull these out. And block those. Okay. And then grab this. And throw it. Throw it. There we go. Whoa, I didn't mean to grab it again. Not what I meant. Blow that up. Whoop. Dodge around there. Okay, everything's good. Everything's great. Oh, block that back. Okay. There we go. Grab that. Spin and throw it. Like that. Oh, should not have charged at that guy. Should I have? Cut. You know what? Oh, let's miss on him. Because, like, we don't get to keep these missiles. These missiles go away in between sessions. Or in between seasons. So, I got him. Do those Atano circuses. Peace!
Got him! Woo! Beam, did you see that?
Stop
See ya.
wasting time. Get me out of here.
Calm down, homie.
Right away. Yeah, right away, sir.
Careful, soldier.
Right, sir. Sorry,
Straight up?
sir.
Okay.
Beam, warp point, quickly.
Already on it. Hurry home, you two.
Death is upon
I
you.
love the Mountain Blade games. There is a Mountain Blade game technically on my list for tonight. That's all I'll say. Ice Cream Jones, I'm not going down the hot dog sandwich route. You've heard that already. You can go to websites like Stream Friends and Run Button to hear me talk about whether or not hot dogs are sandwiches. There's plenty of evidence of what my opinion is. What was my favorite college course? In undergrad or in general? In undergrad, I think I had my first critical theory course, in retrospect, is really good. I had a bunch of really good Japanese literature classes that were less, like, valuable because they taught me about Japanese literature and more because they were, I had a really fantastic professor who helped me develop my skills as a writer and then a thinker. I'm on Team Bat. I'm more comfortable wielding a bat than a knife. I could damage someone else with a bat. I would definitely damage myself with a knife. Yo, I would really love for there to be a Paradox World of Darkness game. I was talking with one of my friends about this recently. There's a board game called what is it called? Prince of the City. That is about being a vampire prince. Maybe it's not. Is it? I think it is. I think it's called Prince of the City. There's being a prince, a vampire prince in the White Wolf system, the kind of White Wolf World of Darkness setting, and that would be really good. Yeah, I like the Fallout series a whole bunch. No, I would not break my mother's nose for $50,000. Yeah, I'm sure we will do a live show in the New York area at some point. My favorite Kurosawa film is Ron. New season. All right, let me take a quick break. I'm gonna restart the stream really quick so we can do so I can get like a nice 2-hour archive. And also so I can come back and read some stuff. Let me just actually let me just ask Vinny. Vinny, if you're still in the chat, you can just let me know. But if not, I'll just hop over to our Slack. Oh. How's it going? Uh-oh, I closed the chat. That was a mistake. Sorry, chat. Let's keep this screen up. This is a good screen. I'll keep that music going too. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just quickly bring the stream down and take it back up so I can save this archive.